Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, choir. Wasn't that beautiful? And the Carol of the Bells is one of my favorites. I get to pick. All right, well, this is the beginning of our Christmas season, and we're starting a series on looking at the Christmas stories in the Gospels. And you may not know that the full Christmas story, that we know it. You know, the angel appears to Mary, tells her she's going to have a baby, and then Joseph wrestles with what to do, and then they go, no room at the inn, and the whole story is not in one gospel. There's bits and pieces throughout the Bible. So we're going to be looking at the Gospel of Matthew, Luke, and John from the Holy Bible. And we're going to be looking at the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ by Levi Dowling. So each one will bring a different energy to the story. So next week, Patrick's going to talk about Matthew. Matthew walked with Jesus, and he was a tax collector. So you could maybe imagine the story being told as an accountant's view of what was important. And then Cindy's going to talk about Luke, what was in Luke. And Luke was a physician. He was educated, so he has a different aspect of the story. And then in the Aquarian Gospel, which we love, it always gives us such a fuller understanding of the energy behind what was really happening at the time. So today we're going to talk about the Gospel of John. And John was a disciple. He was a fisherman, so you can imagine that he always looked up at the night sky and was involved in the cycles of life, and he was known as the beloved disciple. And he was known as love. He was in the inner circle with Jesus. Peter, James, and John were always with Jesus, and Jesus told them, the secrets of the universe, about Mother, Father, God, about all the inner workings John was exposed to. He was considered to be the mystic. And he was with Jesus all the way to the end at the cross. He was the only one that did not leave him. So we're going to look at the Gospel of John today. And the funny thing about John is that there is no Christmas story in John. So we have to just be able to expand and open our mind and heart and be open to the magic and wonder of Christmas as we read this, okay? Okay? Okay. All right, so John starts the Word was in the beginning, and the very Word was with God, and God was that Word. Everything came to be by his hand, and without him, not even one thing that was created came to be. The life was in him, and the life is the light of men. And the same light shines in darkness, and the darkness does not overcome it. And then he starts to talk about John the Baptist. And John goes into John the Baptist and that he was there to testify all the things that Jesus was going to do. So in the first 5 lines of John, we have the Word was in the beginning. So let's look at that. The Word was in the beginning, and that very Word was with God, and God was that Word. The Word is the very essence of God. It's the mother-father energy and the Christ energy. We're not to be confused with Jesus the Christ, the man. It's the energy of love, the essence of God is the Word. Okay? And so I asked Spirit to tell me about the Word. And this is from Spirit. The Word is an infinite space which exists in this dimension. All that there is contained in the Word. It is our eternal nature. Breathe. And we just start to expand a little bit. Okay. All right. Everything came to be by his hand, and without him, not even one thing that was created came to be. The Word, the Christ energy, is that love that brings light to life. It's the light that exists in all of life, which is the co-creative power within life. Okay. The life in him and the life was in him, and the life is the light of men. That same eternal light that Jesus the Christ demonstrated is within all men since the beginning of time. That light that was in Jesus is the same light that was in us, that was in the beginning of time. Breathe. Okay. So it was the Christ seed that was planted in the beginning in our spirit. Our spirit is that Christ seed. So we think about, when we go into meditation and we connect with God, we go into the oneness, right? And we know that in God there's all things. And we feel that expanded nature when we're in meditation, don't we? But do we ever think about our spirit? We think about oneness, but do we ever think about it going this way? That it was always before us and it is always in front of us. In the Aquarian Gospel it says, there never was a time when man was not. Not man, our physical body, but the spirit, the consciousness of man, has always existed. Okay, breathe. So how big are we? We're big, aren't we? We are big. We are big. But sometimes don't we feel like matter is crushing us? But we're so big. And the same light shines in darkness, and the darkness does not overcome it. Darkness we can think of as being matter. Our light shines in the matter, but the matter doesn't overcome the light, our spirit, because our spirit creates matter. It's that life within us that is the co-creative force that is creating the matter around us that we feel crushes us. But what if, so we know that the darkness cannot stand before the light. So if we truly could feel the light and the awesomeness and the expansive nature of our eternal nature, how powerful would we be? So, and we try, don't we? We try. But sometimes we forget. We forget and we let the trappings of the earth, our little frustrations, we don't feel the bigness of our eternal nature. And so we forget. Breathe. Are you all with me? Okay, good. Okay. So we are so much bigger than how we walk around in this life. So if we think about our word, we use our words to create, our voice vibrates out our innermost desires and thoughts and intentions and beliefs and go out and into the world and create something visible, doesn't it? The word brings the invisible to the visible form. That's how we create too. But we say a lot of things. We yammer, and we do say things we don't mean, and we don't realize how much energy we just, of creation, we are just spouting out without direction. So, but when we say, well, I give you my word, that's when we get serious. No, on my word. That means that no matter what I've been telling you in the past, my word is something that's the integrity and the essence within me that's bigger than me that you can't see. And that the truth of that which I am, I'm resting my word on. And it will be. And so just feel how, think of a situation that you feel or you remember when you have to say, I give you my word. Just think about that. And now I want everyone to say right now, I give you my word. Out loud, ready? I give you my word. Where do you feel that in your body? Do you feel it right in here? You feel it? I felt it kind of up and down my spine and centeredness. It's a centeredness. It's an expansion. I give you my word, my word. It goes out. It's expansive, yet centered deep within. And can't our words bring light to men? Our words bring light to men. So, what if we used our words and we did not, we took the limits off ourselves? If we stopped using limiting words about ourselves and about others, how powerful would our world be? Wouldn't there be peace on earth if we spoke with that intention and power and knowingness in all that we did? That every time we spoke, our essence was shining? And that would create peace. Peace on earth, goodwill towards men. But we forget, and we keep every day trying to stay in line with our intentions and to live the life that Jesus came to show us. And if we just take those first 5 lines of John, and we look at what does Christmas mean? Christmas is the Christing of masses. And so Christ is the anointing of God, that inflow of God energy. And a mass, instead of mass being a group of people, a mass in the dictionary is a quantity of matter forming a body of indefinite space, size, and shape. So in the beginning was the Word. Couldn't that be our first Christmas story? Isn't that the Christ energy moving out and creating, moving into indefinite shapes and sizes? So it's not our traditional. It's the Christmas story before the Christmas story, the pre-Christmas story. Then John goes down and talks about John the Baptist, and then he says in 14, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we saw his glory, a glory like that of the firstborn of the Father, full of grace and truth." And so, the birth of the Christ, Jesus came to help us remember, to unfold that eternal nature that is within us from the beginning. And so, every day as we walk, we, as metaphysical Christians, are always, we're always trying to be with Spirit, do what Spirit's guiding us to, and to always be in integrity and live the life of the Christ. And we have our angels around us, just like in the Christmas story, that are always helping to guide us. We have the lights that are shining within the people, our family, our church, the people that we meet on the street. Those lights are always shining to help us spark that remembrance of who we really are. And it's really hard to grasp the timelessness of our spirit. And so if we could just for a moment just start to remember not only the connection with God, but our eternal nature with God. It makes life here so like we can handle it. If we just breathe as we're getting frustrated because we're dropping things or things aren't working out the way we want them to, if we just for a moment said, wait a minute, I'm eternal. I'm eternal. Okay, let me be big and pull the answer and move through this. Because we get so frustrated in so many little things in our world. But we have so much support. We have so much support from our angels, from our church, from our people, from our friends, our family. from the nature spirits to always help us to remember to unfold that eternal nature of ourselves. And so we have a beautiful example of how the earth is supporting our unfoldment. At this time on the earth, we have what was a comet that has been coming into our atmosphere. The comet is called ISON, I-S-O-N, and it exists outside our solar system. It was pushed out when our solar system was created 4.5 billion years ago. And it has been frozen with the same makeup as the beginning of the creation of our solar system. And for some reason, it's been knocked out of its frozen state and has made its multi-million year journey towards our sun. And so, in it is the primordial makeup of our solar system from the beginning. And so, on Thanksgiving Day, it was scheduled to come very close to the sun. And when that happened, all the gases and the makeup of what was consisted in that comet would be expelled and there'd be a great light. And when it comes by the sun impulses are feeding that energy back into our solar system of the beginning. So we got fed an infusion of life from the beginning. We all got fed, the whole solar system got fed an impulse of life from the beginning so that we can remember. You know, like when we get older and we wish we had the skin of a baby we lose those nutrients. We lose those nutrients as we age, and we're always looking for that influx of life to make us younger. Well, that comet has come by and put that influx of the beginning, that youth of our solar system, into our atmosphere that we can all take in as food, nourishment. We're being fed by the universe as a quickening to remember the beginning. How awesome is that? So the scientists are studying the gases and everything that are being released. And this is from Science News magazine, just so you know. And they're studying the gases and everything so that they can come up with a chemical makeup of our solar system. So even the universe is sending us remembrances of the vastness of who we are. So that's really cool, don't you think? Mm-hmm. So what if we remembered and take a moment each day to remember when we connect with God, to feel that love of God, but also feel our eternal nature, and then bring that light out into the world? How would that impact our Christmas and our life? Do we think we can do that? All right, well, let's just breathe, and let's just take a moment and go within. Once again, just breathe and relax. And I want you to feel a calm of light coming over you where you sit. Again, flowing through your crown chakra, through your entire body. And a calm of light that comes over our entire group. And bring your attention to your heart center. Feel the love of God. Feel your angels around you. And I want you to step into your heart. Feel what it feels like. Releasing all your attachments to matter. Not even feeling your own body at this point. And let your vision move to a space that you believe is the beginning. Let your vision awake as you step into the vastness of your own being. You may see lights like stars. It may look like the solar system. And just feel that light that is quickening within your own heart. Feel that you are one with all there is. And it's all powerful. Feel the love of God, the love that moves through all of life. Knowing that you are safe, you have always been, and you will always be. And see the other lights around you. Acknowledge all the lights of your brothers and sisters, of our light beings. And just sit in the energy of that vastness of eternity. Knowing you are loved, the love of the Father. And that you're carrying that love of the Father on the earth. And you may get a message of how to make this more real into your life. How can I bring the essence of who I am into my life right now? How can I bring the light of life to men? And just feel what you get. You may have a sense, a seeing, a knowing, or words. And if you don't get anything, just breathe and know that you're being fed. You're being seeded with energy to help your unfoldment of your Christ self. Now start to bring your energy back into your body. Bring that focus back into your body, into your heart center. And just let it recalibrate within your body and your consciousness for a moment. And take a deep breath. Feel the love of the Father, love of the Christ around you and in you. Ready to make it real. And take a nice deep breath, and when you're ready, just open your eyes. How did that feel?
Good. Very good.
Feel good? Did you feel expanded? Expanded yet connected with all things? Well, maybe someday, after we've awakened a little bit, and we all can truly embody the mission that Jesus, the Christ, brought. Instead of reading the night before Christmas, went all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Our children and our grandchildren might sit on our laps, and we'll say this Christmas story. The Word was in the beginning, and the Word was with God, and God was the Word. The Christ energy that is in Jesus is in your heart. your eternal nature was there too. Do you remember and can you feel it? Everything came to be by his hand, and without him, not even one thing that was created came to be. The life was in him, and the life is the light of man. And then they would run to the window and look out, but not to see Santa or reindeer on the rooftop. But they would look to truly see the light that was in all of life, that was in them. And they would truly know the magic and wonder that is Christmas and life. Merry Christmas.